Hi guys, it's Joe Tommaso from the 15 Minutes With podcast. Our show is geared toward helping to keep not only teens but people in general out of our jails and prisons. Our show is unique in the fact that we use real inmates throughout the country and they explain not only about the cases that cause their incarceration, but why it's so important for people to stay out of prison and remain free. Speaking of free, have you heard about the newest and best way to put your podcast out there for the world to hear? Let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to produce and distribute your ideas, your podcast, and the best part, it's free. There's even a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you so people can hear it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other listening platforms. You can even make money from your podcast, and there are no minimal amount of listeners required. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition of the 15 Minutes with True Crime podcast. I am Dr. Joe Tommaso, your host. Daniel Clifton is currently incarcerated at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. Daniel is a transgender female to male inmate. Daniel said that he never felt comfortable in his own skin. Daniel is currently serving time for 2 counts of second-degree murder. He is also the first incarcerated individual to be approved for gender reassignment surgery, not only in California, but apparently the entire United States. Please listen as Daniel shares his story in this segment. If you like this show and would like to see it continue and to get better, please consider donating to paypal.me/Joe Tommaso. That is paypal.me/JoeTomaso. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or if there's someone you might want us to try and interview, please email us at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Once again, that email is insidetherazorwire@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at P.O. Box 162, West Haven, Connecticut 06516. And now, without further ado, here is this edition of 15 Minutes With. Hello?
This is Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Daniel Clifton.
an inmate at the Central California Women's Facility, Chowchilla, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hi, Daniel. Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm going to get into the interview with you. So can you do me a favor and just tell me your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, it's Daniel Clifton. I'm at Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California.
Okay. And can you tell me what you were charged with, what you were sentenced for, and how long was your sentence?
Okay, it was a PC 187 second-degree murder with use of deadly force. And 15 to life.
Okay. How long have you been in prison for?
22 years.
Okay, 22 years.
Since 1999.
Wow. What was your first reaction, when you stepped into prison? Like, how did you feel? Can you describe?
And I was scared and kind of ashamed. I didn't feel like I belonged here. I never thought I would, but I just felt kind of out of place.
A lot of people, see shows on TV, 60 Minutes In, Lockup, all these, prison shows. There's shows on YouTube, which I don't even know if YouTube was out in 99, but you can, just for, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but YouTube actually shows videos. And, believe it or not, right now, one of the big things are prison channels. And a lot of guys will get out, a lot of women will get out, and they'll talk about their, their time. But most of this stuff is sanitized. They go through it. They don't show you the real deal. I mean, they kind of do, but they don't. Would you say prisons are more like a college campus kind of thing, or are they dangerous places.
Well, it can be dangerous most of the time. I mean, our yard is pretty calm because, you know, we got the honor dorm, the elderly, the medical, the DPs. But there are a lot of things that go on in here, and you do need to watch your back on a lot of the situations.
I was going to bring up, before you were at CCWF, were you at any other places? Like, did you get transferred around or no?
Valley State Prison for women.
And how was that?
Across the street.
How was that as far as for safety-wise?
It was a lot more military-like. They had a lot more structure over there. And
actually, I don't want to interrupt you, but Valley State is like an intake, if I remember correctly, right? They literally almost like drill you. Isn't that the place that I've seen, or no?
No, when I was over there, they'd send the northerners across the street and Southern California people over here, and then it closed down for it was open for men.
I got you.
So they transferred all of us out.
Okay. What would you say to a young person, or just anybody in general, who, you know, people out on the street that are like, they're not paying attention to the law, they don't care about it, they're using, you know, they may be using drugs, they may be robbing, stealing, all that. They're definitely not on the right path. What would you tell them about winding up in prison and thinking about it?
This isn't where you want to end up. You know, all those people you're out there trying to impress and tagging along with and everything are not going to be your friends when you're in here. And you're going to lose all your dignity, your family, your freedom, everything. You need to hear right and try to do the right thing. If you need help with something, ask.
Mm-hmm. Have you yourself, ever been assaulted, or have you seen anybody else assaulted during your time? It doesn't matter if it was the county jail or prison. I mean, we don't have to say names or nothing like that, but I mean, have you seen, I guess I could call it, have you seen violence? I mean, we hear about people getting assaulted, robbed, or even extorted in prison. I know it happens. I mean, people ask, you know, it's funny. People ask me all the time, you know, does it really happen on the inside? I mean, you're on the inside right now. Does it happen?
Yeah, over here at CCWF, I haven't witnessed it personally. Like across the street, I did see one of the female officers get attacked by 3 inmates and almost get killed.
Wow.
All sitting out in the day.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So the violence isn't just, you know, inmate on inmate, it's inmate on CO as well.
Inmate on staff.
Wow.
And there's sometimes you get staff that even retaliate a little too far on inmates.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen things where, you know, people will, you know, get into a fight and the takedowns are pretty, bad. Or you'll have somebody get ordered. I mean, I don't know how often you've seen it, you know, where you are, but I know that there's been places where they've told people to come out of their cell and, you know, so they could do a shakedown or whatever, and the person refuses and they literally go in there. It's funny, I don't know if California calls it SRT or whatever the heck it is, but we just called it what it is, the Goon Squad, and they go in and you're going to get dragged out and basically get your ass kicked. Is that about the same thing going on these days or no?
Yep, and we call it the same thing, the Goon Squad, and yeah, they go overboard with a lot of things.
Crazy. So tell me about you. I mean, tell me about your story and how you wound up on the inside.
Well, since I was like 5, 6 years old, I always felt kind of out of place and not really accepted. And I tried to live a life of something I wasn't. And my self-esteem, my confidence, everything was extremely low. So I would do just about anything to feel like I fit in. And I even had 4 kids, and they were mixed race, and I got messed up with drugs and alcohol, and somebody said something wrong about my children, and I went off and beat them to death.
that you said that was in what, 99, right?
Yeah.
And here it is 22 years later and you're still in prison. I mean, now you didn't say, are you an LWOP or?
No.
Okay.
No. I've never really felt comfortable when I've gone to board. I feel prepared now.
Okay. Speaking of being prepared and speaking about, I guess we'll call it being a little more comfortable in your skin, if that sounds right. I mean, you can correct me if I'm, saying it wrong.
That's it. I actually feel like I'm true to myself now, and I'm not in denial about anything.
Okay.
Trying to wear a mask,
Okay, cool. I understand that you are going for a real special surgery soon. Can you tell our listeners about that?
Yeah, it's a series of about 4 major invasive surgeries, and it's going to be spread out over about a year because they take anywhere from 1 to 4 months recovery, and they can't start another one until they finish with one, and I fully recover.
And then you're going to be in a much better place at that point, right?
In my head, yes, I will.
Okay, great.
I will feel more comfortable and more myself then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel I'll be prepared to go to board and do what I need to do and get out of here then.
Cool. How hard did you have to fight for that surgery?
I've been fighting since 2018, and every time I get ready to go, they'd come up with some other medical procedure I needed to take care of, or medical issues. And I'd get that taken care of, they'd find another one.
Wow.
But I never gave up. I just kept fighting for it.
And now it's time.
Yes.
Great. What are your plans after the surgery? I mean, I know you just said you were going to go to the board and you were going to do some things. Do you have any other plans after that?
When I get out of here, I am a veteran of the armed forces, and I've been accepted to a veterans transitional home, and I plan on going out there and actually begin to live my life. Even though I'm 57 years old, I have a lot of stuff that I've missed, and I plan on going out there and seeing it. And
let me ask you. 22 years on the inside. You brought up that you're 57 now. The world has changed quite a bit. There's things that are out here now. I mean, 99, I don't remember for sure, but what were we using for cell phones back then? Were this the back phone times or the banana phones? What were there?
Were the big bulky ones.
Okay, so the banana phones, yeah.
Had them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now they got these little, basically handheld computers that they're using for cell phones. How do you think you're gonna adjust? I mean, are you gonna need like help to adjust, or?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna need some help, and I plan on asking for it this time. Like before, I would try to do things on my own, but I know I'm gonna need some help, and take whatever help I can find.
Well, I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you this now, and I'm going to say this to our listeners because I don't want to say shameless plug. There are places like Hope for Prisoners. They are actually in Nevada.
And your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They are actually in Nevada, but there's other different programs in California as well and around. That is what they do. They actually help you become accustomed to the things that you missed, and they situate you, I guess I could call it. I think TDCR will hopefully, help you with that.
Well, I
go ahead.
With the transitional home, and they have a program for all people that just got out to get them associated with what's going on.
That's cool.
Changes and stuff.
Do you have any advice for people who may be doing things that can like jam them up? Just like I do, that once you wind up in the system, you're in the system. Anytime anything goes wrong, they always bring up your past. So what kind of advice would you have for these people?
Whatever you're doing out there, it's not worth it. This is not where you want to end up. Like you said, it's always, your past is always with you. Try to apply for a job, apply for housing, anything. They always bring it up. And you lose a lot of stuff while you're in here. Your humanity, your dignity, everything.
What do you miss on the inside? What do you miss out here the most?
My family. I do have 4 children. That my oldest was 10 years old when I got arrested, and I have grandchildren that are older than that now. I've missed my kids all their life. And, growing up, I missed the birth of all their children.
Mm-hmm.
I've missed 3 of them's weddings.
Wow.
I'd say I miss my family the most.
If you could go back in time and see yourself, a younger you, before everything happened, what would you tell yourself?
To ask for help and not try to do it on my own. Get the help that I need to get, and just live for myself instead of trying to live and please everybody else. I didn't need the acceptance.
And I'm sure Michelle told you.
60 seconds remaining.
And I'm sure Michelle told you that a lot of people out here, a lot of people in the community, actually your story, or at least a story about you getting granted surgery, is actually in Hearts on a Wire, which is a magazine that's out there.
Yep.
I think that was pretty cool. If you, I want to give you. We only got like 30 seconds left, so I want to give you the chance. This mic is yours at this point. What would you like to tell people on the outside? What do you want them to know?
Just do what you need to do to stay out there. Don't come to prison. If you need to even live on the streets, just this is not where you need to be. It doesn't matter anything that you need to do. Just keep yourself out there.
Danny, thank you very much for calling me. I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me what's going on. Thank you for listening to 15 Minutes With. I hope you've enjoyed this edition. If you have enjoyed this edition of 15 Minutes With, please hit the like and the subscribe button. You can also help me keep this show going and watch it get better by donating to paypal.me/Joe Tomaso. That address again is paypal.me/JoeTomaso. 15 Minutes With is constantly looking for new content to upload and new people to interview. If you would like to share your story, or if there's someone you would like to see us interview, please email us at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. That email address again is insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Last but not least, again, if you like to support this channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, we'll be seeing you